Scott the engineer has once again been approached by the Professional Bowlers Association to play in their upcoming World Series of Bowling tournament. Scott, sources say, is trying to drum up support around the Stern channels via emails to send him to compete again.
You know what?
What are these emails? Who's he sending them to? Did he send you an email?
You know what? So about a month ago, Gary comes to me and he says, or Doug Goodstein came to me, actually, from Howard TV. And he said, hey, Scott's been asked to go bowl again, the PBA tour. I said, yeah. He goes, well, last year we covered it on Howard TV, and, what do you think? Do you want to do it again? Scott approached us. He'd be interested. I said, look, let me think about it. So I'm thinking about it. I go, from what I remember, I watch Howard TV.
It wasn't that big.
It wasn't that interesting to begin with. Scott stands there like a lummox and bowls, and he bowls okay. He didn't do great. He didn't do bad. He just was boring. It was fine for what it was. I wasn't sitting and pining away for Scott to go back on the PBA tour.
Yeah, you haven't been thinking about it.
Yeah, well, Scott's been thinking about it.
Well, he had a great time.
Right, he had a great time. And don't forget, he left here for like a week or two, and no one missed him. And that's problematic when you leave and nobody knows you're gone, because it makes it seem like you're not that valuable. So then, Scott, so I said to Doug Goodstein, I think we'll pass on it this time. I said, I don't see the merit in it.
Right.
Well, next I guess they told him no. And Scott's sort of having an inner tantrum. He writes me a direct email.
Ah.
And he goes,
I don't know if you are aware of this, but the PBA has asked me to bowl again on their tour.
So, in other words, he got the no from Doug.
He got the no from Doug. Now he's writing me.
And he wants to get a direct no from you.
I didn't even write him back. Never responded to his email, right? I never responded, and I never fucking will. So then I write Gary.
Wait, that's rude. Okay.
Oh, good.
That's really rude.
And you're rude.
No, I'm not rude.
You were told no by Doug Goodstein.
I wasn't told no. I never got an answer. That's the problem.
Well,
I never got an answer.
All right.
So I'm not rude.
First of all, you don't
ask a question around here and people freak out. What the fuck is that?
You don't ask me that.
I don't.
You don't bother me. When do you ever write me? Yeah, don't bother me.
Wow.
Who
the fuck are you not to bother you?
I'm your boss.
Yeah, I know that, but I can't ask you a question?
No.
Holy shit, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Because around here you go to Gary. You don't come to me directly.
Well,
because you were already told
I did, but I never got an answer.
Doug Goodstein told you
no. he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He's coming in to tell you.
He's coming in right now.
Now, he's going to... Listen.
This is what gets him worked up to bowling. Not the wife calling in. He could care less. This is what's going to get him worked up.
That's another fucking issue.
So, Doug, here's my issue with you.
Mr. Trader over here. Throw anybody under the bus he can.
Here's my issue with you.
Doug, you never gave me an answer.
After I wrote no to you, Doug, what happened? Did you tell him no?
I said he said
he never got an answer
Howard,
from you.
I got a weird vibe from Howard. He didn't seem really into it. I followed up with an email to you.
Right.
Didn't hear back.
It was fine.
Scott, did I not tell you?
So listen, Scott knows around here. You don't bother me with your shit because I don't like saying no to anybody.
That's right.
And you go,
say no. Instead of a no answer.
No, you go to Gary like you do on everything
I do go to Gary.
Do you ever write me once asking me about your job?
Gary never came back to me.
Do you ever ask me about what you should be doing every day in your studio? No.
Gary never came back to me.
You want to bowl so bad you're throwing a tantrum.
Well, I'm not throwing a tantrum.
So listen to this. This is what matters. Wait, I'm not done. So then Scott doesn't hear back from me. Because he knows what that means. I don't write to Scott about his personal bowling. We have meetings for that. Gary, he has a conduit to go to Gary. He can go to Doug Goodstein. And when he hears that Howard's not interested, take the fucking hint. No,
okay, fine. Don't cover it for Howard TV. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't.
So then he gives up on me. Tim comes to me.
Ah, he went to Tim.
Yeah, he's going to everybody. He
came to me,
right?
And then we discussed it, and I said to Tim.
So Gary then comes to me. So Scott knows what to do.
So you're still getting questions about this.
Well, wait a second. In between Gary, I walk by Scott's studio, and Scott says to me, I want to go bowling, something along those lines. So I had just come off the air. My head was fucking spinning. So I go, I said, quite frankly, I was thinking about it. If there was any merit in it, if there was anything good for Howard TV or on the radio.
So you're still considering it?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Bother you.
I was thinking about it, but he's bothering me as soon as I get off the air. Because he wasn't satisfied that I didn't answer his email. But he's already gotten a no from Doug. Gary he went to. So Gary comes to me, and I said, you know what, Gary? I like Scott. I got nothing against him. He wants to bowl. Let me think about this. I sat in my office and wasted 20 minutes of my time trying to think if there's any fucking reason I need this guy. And I still was saying, oh, what the hell? So then, I don't know, Gary then, I talked it over.
We discussed it, and then you said, you know what? We need him here. Right. So then Scott had come to me, and I said...
Yeah, I mean, he's got a job.
But I said, you should talk to Tim. So Tim sat him down and said, no. Did Tim tell you no?
No.
What did he say to you?
Tim told me
you know.
What did Tim say to you?
Tim came to me and said, as a friend, and first of all, he's not my friend.
Okay.
I'd like to give you advice.
All right. What was his advice?
Drop the bowling issue.
Well, that's
okay.
What does that say?
So what happened?
Officially, that is not an answer.
Scott, I told you that 3 weeks before Tim told you that.
Okay, everyone's nicely saying to you,
so
no one cares if you bowl.
I dropped the bowling issue.
Well, then he comes up with a new plan. He goes, I want to take my personal time. So I get a memo from Tim and Gary. Scott is now saying he wants to take his personal time to go bowling. I said, oh, you mean when he has his vacation, it coincides with bowling? I said, that's fine.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't coincide.
Right.
Unfortunately for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm...
Right. So I go, oh, that sounds okay to me. I go, you mean during his vacation? They go, no. He wants to take his own vacation, set up his own vacation, and go bowling.
Uh-huh.
I go, well, is he needed here? Because if he's not needed here, why is he here anyway? I said, do you guys need him here? They go, yeah, we need him. So I said, well... then there's no issue. Forget the fucking bowling. I want to go shoot pictures today for my photography.
I could be doing today that
Scott,
you mean I wouldn't be here?
The only reason they're asking you to bowl is because you're on this show. Leave the show, quit the show, and go off and become a professional bowler. What are you waiting for? What are you doing? You're nuts. You're going to go campaign? You see how hurt he is? This matters to him more than anything.
I was trying to get an answer from somebody.
What do you think the answer is?
You got an answer.
3 guys told you, drop the issue.
I love it that he says Tim is not his friend. Tim tries to give him some friendly advice.
Right.
And Tim says, drop it. And he goes, that's not an official answer.
So the show, you don't want to cover it? That's fine. We
don't want to cover it. Nobody cares when you bowl.
Good. That's fine.
Unless you're bowling wind.
Do you feel like you have an answer now? Or do you need me to sit down with you?
Well, obviously you don't want me to go, so that's the answer. You gave me the answer.
Listen,
you gave me the answer.
I want you to have everything in life you could have.
I get it.
But you got a job. Listen, you're not 12 years old.
No, I'm not 12
You got
years
a job.
Okay, so...
Either you're needed here. I asked around. I said, does anyone need Scott here? They told me yes. I was shocked.
Oh, wow.
As much as you are.
Yeah, right.
Isn't it nice that people need you?
Very nice.
So that's more important than going to fucking bowl. What is it?
Is there some free time you have that you could participate in this a little bit?
No, unfortunately, it happens during a week that the show's here.
Oh.
3 days,
Well, there you go. So there's your answer. You can't bowl.
Okay.
Wow.
I got an answer.
Right.
I was looking for an answer.
You didn't have an answer.
You got 5 answers.
You got 20 answers from 20
Doug
people.
Doug never gave me an answer. Gary never gave me an answer. You never gave me an answer.
What did Doug say to you?
Off the record.
Doug said, we're not interested. Tim said, hey, drop the bowling issue. No one's interested. Gary said to you, it's not going to happen.
Okay, so fine.
What answer were you looking for? As far as writing me, the one time you wrote me a personal note is to ask about bowling. I don't know whether you're needed around here for bowling. I mean, it's an outrageous question. I don't have anything to do with that. Gary around here answers all of your questions.
Okay.
That's the peck. All of a sudden, you break protocol around here with the dumb bowling. Meanwhile, you got the answer from 20 guys.
I went to Doug first. I didn't go to you.
You went to Doug.
And
you
he
went
gave
to
you
Gary.
an answer.
Doug showed interest, and he said it would be a good follow-up.
Right.
Okay, that's Doug.
And I told Doug he's out of his fucking mind.
Because we do the behind-the-scenes show now. It'd be more.
Scott. It's boring.
Okay.
Watching you bowl is like watching paint dry.
You get it.
My fans who pay for Howard TV don't want to sit and look at your fucking bowling.
I get it.
I know this. Listen, I'm sorry. I want to do something today. I don't want to be here today. What should I do? Who am I going to cry to?
Really? Then I was just asking for some personal time off, 3 days.
Listen to me. Personal time. I want personal time.
Oh, my God. You really do?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't get it. You still don't get enough?
Scott, can I have... No, I don't. Really? I want more personal time. Can I have it?
You can have... Obviously,
you're laughing about my personal time. Your personal time matters. Mine doesn't.
I didn't say it doesn't, but...
Personal time. I said to Gary, I never heard this around here. What is personal time?
It's vacation time that I get from the company.
No, wait a second. I said if it's Scott's vacation, of course he can have it.
Well, it's vacation time.
But I heard that you have scheduled vacation. It's not, right? And Gary explained this. Explain it to him again.
Okay.
Vacation
time is vacation time that you get. We've all agreed, since we've all worked here, that we all take vacation together. Otherwise, it's anarchy.
I do that.
Personal days. Here, you know what personal days are for. You're like a factory worker, but you know better. Personal days are for a funeral, a family emergency.
Not to bowl.
Not to bowl. That's not a personal day.
That's why I was asking if it would be.
They told you no. I know they told you no.
I explained what I got. The answers I got.
What do you think the answer is? Did anyone say yes?
No one said yes.
Did anyone say it was a good idea? Did anyone say, I think this might work? Tim said to you, I would drop this if I were you, Scott. You're a boss. You're a direct boss. Said, I would drop this.
Listen, I got news for you. I'm going to give you some advice. As your friend, I consider myself a friend of yours. Maybe not Tim.
Maybe you don't consider him a friend.
The kind of passion you have for this bowling is the passion you should have for when my equipment breaks.
I do.
Okay. That's what you should be excited about. Forget bowling. Bowling is for going once a week with your friends. You get a little drunk, get away from the wife, and you sit there and you throw that stupid ball at those dumb fucking pins.
Right.
The way he yelled at you, Howard, when he walked in, I wish I heard that tone of voice when Lady Gaga's microphone didn't work.
Right. You'll never see him erupt. Except for
he erupted.
Yeah. Oh, the bowling.
Well, I never got an answer. That's what, you know.
But you did. You got an answer. You didn't want to hear what you heard.
He said drop the bowling. I said, okay, I'll take. So let me take a couple of days off.
That's not dropping it.
A couple of days off to go bowl?
Well, so what happens when an emergency comes up?
So are you needed around here or not?
Yeah, I'm needed.
You are, so then how can we let you go?
Okay, I got the answer.
No.
But also, Howard, suppose some emergency now comes up and he needs a couple of days. He already took him for bowling.
Yeah, but that was good for you guys. You talked about it on the air.
I remember when he was bowling the last time. We talked. Then they call and say, we want to get on the air with Scott. And I go, you know what? I'm not even that interested in getting an update on him.
I remember your exact words to me when we discussed it was, you go, Gary, I remember seeing Scott Bowling show, and I don't remember it being stellar television. It was good once, but I don't think it merits doing it again.
It was boring.
Well, you should get Greg in here. Greg said it was the most boring week of his life. He said they shot like 80 hours to get like, 10 minutes.
Is, I want to do a Robin dating show. I can't get a budget for that.
No, please send Scott.
Oh, no. Well, you know what I mean.
Well, everything was paid for. It wasn't. You didn't have to have a budget.
No, I understand that, but my guys, they get paid to sit there and stare at your ass for 80 hours.
In other words, the crew has to be paid.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Not you.
Look, Scott may have a future in bowling because the PBA CEO tells us his skills have impressed the other bowlers.
Let me tell you what impressed
they have, all right.
Here's what impressed the PBA. When I talk about it, they get attention. Nobody pays attention to bowling until I talk about it. It's got nothing to do with Scott. They're not looking for... If Scott wasn't on the show, there'd be no bowling.
Why didn't they say, quit, Scott, and come on the tour?
Well, they did invite me, even if, I said...
Well, there you go.
They invited me without coverage. They said, if Howard doesn't want to cover it, you're still welcome to bowl.
So go bowl.
I can't, because I...
you got a job. I'm so sorry you've got a job.
Then I asked for
Scott, I'm so sorry
for the days off. I mean,
Robin, do you have anything you want to do?
I'll tell you what I want to do.
What do you want to do? I can find something.
It was just a question. Everybody freaks out from a question.
Should Robin leave now? She's got something she has to do. She doesn't want to say what it is.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'll tell you what I want to do. I was just telling John Hine this. I've always wanted to go to the Super Bowl. Always wanted to go. It's on a Sunday night.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I've investigated it a million times. About 4 years ago, I actually got a friend was going to let me jump on his private jet home from Phoenix.
Go ahead.
But I still was nervous about when we'd land, so I found out we were going to scheduled to land somewhere between 4 and 5, and that made me nervous. So I spoke to the guy that runs all the private jets in the country. He told me the Super Bowl is the biggest night of the year for private jets. There's at least 300 in whatever town that's in. Mm-hmm. He said, you should land at 4, but I can't promise you that you will. So I said, I can't do it.
Right.
I got to be here.
That's right. You missed out on the Super Bowl.
And I want to go. Something I've been trying to do. I want to go to the Australian Open. We are working during that time.
Why don't you go? Take a personal day.
It's a million miles away. I could never get back here.
Scott, which way do you want it? Do you want to be a player on the show and be important on the show? Or do you want to play it that you're so inconsequential that you can leave? Like, if Robin said to me, listen, Howard, I love the show and everything, but I've got to see the Australian Open. I would tell her you're out of your fucking mind. I need somebody here working with me.
Okay, I got an answer. I'm not bitching about...
You had an answer 20 times ago.
Can I just say one more thing, Howard, just for Scott? And I do mean this as a friend. You know that you've been butting heads with Tim and management about stuff here. Do you think when stuff like that's going on, it's a good time to say, can I take 2 days off when you're trying to show them your importance here and that we do need you?
He wants it both ways. I'm unimportant. I'm important.
No, I wanted an answer. An official
yes, writing me, no offense. I'm not trying to sound like some kind of asshole, but, like, you know what? If I work at Microsoft, let me say something. I got a brother-in-law who works at Microsoft. He doesn't have Bill Gates' home email, and he doesn't sit there and fucking hassle him. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand that.
About his personal days. That's something Gary handles here. That's his job. I wouldn't have Gary. If I want people contacting me, what do I need him for with those big teeth?
Wow. I had no idea.
Oh, you don't even know what goes on. You're protected. You were off in England ignoring the death of Steve Jobs.
You're protected from assholes like me.
You're not an asshole.
Sorry I asked a question. I mean, that's all I was trying to do, was ask a question.
I want to be home with my wife.
I mean, okay.
All right. No, you know. By the way, how'd that go when you got home last night?
I'm not making any comments.
Yes, he is.
Really? It wasn't good?
He is a jerk.
We asked him about it first thing this morning, and he was stoic. He said, everything's fine. I said, did you sleep on the couch?
That I'm interested in covering.
Well, of course.
Yeah, we sent some cameras there.
I said, did you sleep on the couch? He's like, I never sleep on the couch. I was like, well, did you sleep in a different room?
I sleep in a box in the garage.
What did he say? He's the Lord of the Manor. Of course he
said the floor was a little hard.
I am the king of my castle.
You had to sleep in a different room?
No.
Oy vey.
Well, what was the problem?
I slept in another state.
The problem?
Yeah, was there a problem?
You didn't do anything wrong.
Well, no, I didn't think so. I mean, people piled on in the wrap-up show, too. And
I don't know anything about that.
Ralph and Richie, and so that I didn't think was fair. So, yeah, I mean, when you get involved with people on this show, things, can go wrong.
Right, absolutely. But you're not to blame. Listen, your wife decided to call in. Who told her to do that? That was crazy. I love when if your wife called in every day, I'd be happy.
I know.
Then you could go bowl, because then I'd have her.
I wouldn't be happy.
I'd hire her in a minute.
I wouldn't be happy.
Right.
But people on the wrap-up show suggested callers that I didn't defend my wife.
Oh, really?
I thought that,
Well, how are you supposed to defend her? She was doing fine on her own.
That's what I said.
She's a firecracker.
That was my answer.
She didn't need you to defend her.
Well, I defended her when I thought she needed defending. When things got a little out of hand, I said, they accused her of wanting to leave early. I said, that was me. I had to leave early. Right. Wasn't her. She didn't have anything to do with that.
You're a beaten man. You can't bowl, and you got to go home and
got to go to Vegas and bowl. Please.
Yeah. So she was mad at you, but why was she mad at you? Who knows?
She was a little upset. But
did you argue, or you just gave up?
You know how it goes.
Right.
I'm not going to,
I'll go straight to the attic.
I'm not going to...
Listen.
Please let me go bowling.
I know you love... I know you love bowling.
Send me away for a week.
I know you love bowling. I know you do.
Yeah, I do.
But listen, the Howard TV guys told me it was the most boring week of their life.
For them, it was boring.
The TV show to me was boring.
Okay,
no offense.
that's cool.
I mean, watching you bowl... I'd rather watch Wendy... I'd rather put the resources into Wendy the retard bowling. If the PBA wants to put her on that...
Yeah, maybe I'll bring them out there.
Right.
But, no, I get it. It's not exciting. It really,
That's why bowling is having a problem.
I mean, but if you're asking me, and I don't like to get involved in this, but I would rather have my engineer here with me than hear that you're off bowling, which I can't really do anything with.
Okay, that's... Fine.
It would be another thing if you were top of the PGA Tour, and if you don't go, you're going to miss a $100 million payday.
And you know what was weird? Like, the whole premise was that, like, Scott's a good enough bowler that maybe he'll win the whole thing.
No.
And not only didn't he win the whole thing, like
he wasn't even qualified.
He was just sort of at the bottom. He wasn't the worst bowler. He wasn't a great bowler. It was just such a disappointment on every level.
I'm not going to win the whole thing, obviously. Those guys are so good that, it's...
Well, we know. And you're boring, and
that's the only reason to take time off, if you're the greatest.
Like, if Scott was bowling naked, okay, then I could see it'd be funny.
All right, then we can work something
out. It doesn't take 80 hours to cover that.
Believe me, no one wants to see me naked.
The words bowling and boring are almost identical, except for 2 letters. Think about it. I've thought about it. Oh, when I got that letter, the email at home.
Your hair must have stood on
I was just
listen.
Like, oh, shit. This fucking guy's asking me. I know I told Doug no, or I was thinking about it, but...
Now I've got a personal
and then right after the show, he comes up to me, hey, did you get my email about bowling? And I was like, Scott, I'm on it. I'm aware of it. You know, someone will get back to you.
What is it that gets into people around here?
No, I was being pressured for an answer.
They know that they're irritating you.
Right.
But they do it anyway.
I didn't want to irritate
because they know I'm a nice guy. Most guys would just fire him. That's right. They were just like, they'd say, listen, get him out of here.
Yeah, he asked a question, get him out of here.
Right. No, you can ask me anything you want, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, that's Gary's job. You know what Gary's job is.
I appreciate you value me as an employee, and you want me here.
Yeah, that's right.
I get it.
Yeah, what are we paying you for?
No, I get it. I understand, and I'm grateful for that.
All right, so go get to work.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there. Get to work. Get passionate. You don't know what goes on. And you saw how he came in?
The way that was amazing.
It's been festering. Like Uncle Fester.
You know, he looks like an answer.
He looks like Uncle Fester, and he was festered.
Everyone.
I thought his head was going to spin.
That vein popping out scared me.
Yeah, and I mean, you've covered war.
I've seen a lot. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Guantanamo Bay. I have seen a lot. That vein might have scared me more than the streets of Baghdad.
That's right. That's right. When he goes off, he goes off.